in. Are you having a good time? Hell yeah.
Nothing like walking at a Lane Stadium with a goal!
I mean, good gracious. Did this not feel like the longest bye week of all time? I'm not saying I had a bad time.
It was great.
It was. No, it was amazing. It just feels like we've been off for like a month. It feels like we've been off for a while. How are you?
I'm wearing my pumpkin orange. It is the orange effect. I am wearing the Michael Vick orange jersey that I don't ever think Michael Vick actually wore.
I like it. Mets won today. Speaking of orange, what a time.
Bye week was great. It was great.
What was great? Oh, the bye week was awesome.
I took care of Winnie, which is Bryce and Macy Chalkley's dog. Win and I were hanging out all weekend, and we watched some football. And I even did like a little bit of a Sunday fun day yesterday. Watched the 1 o'clock games at Dilworth Neighborhood Grill, which is a great spot. And it was very unlike me to do that. And I think that's kind of what I do on bye week every year. I think I kind of kick my feet up on Sundays of bye week, which is nice. Didn't have to record a pod either. Monday night podcast preview. It's a little out of sorts, but we're here.
So we're here to preview the Boston College game, but I'm sure we're going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here in a second.
That's Billy Ray. I'm Pat. We're Sunday, Saturday. He lives.
Well, I was just going to say that I did go to. I'm going to address this 3 times. I'm going to address it right now. I'm going to address it with Pete and Sam after this, and then I'm also doing a podcast with Juliana about our trips to Death Valley. I went to Death Valley at LSU this weekend for the Ole Miss game. It was absolutely tremendous. I'm not going to talk about it right now a lot. I know you do want to ask about my attire, which is fine. I want to address it on all 3 platforms, so you can go ahead.
Let me just set the table here. Billy Ray's dad, proud former lineman at the University of Mississippi.
Yes.
Billy Ray has claimed to be an Ole Miss fan because of that information, just like I claim to be a Virginia Tech fan because my old man played soccer for the Hokies in the 80s. But when Virginia Tech soccer plays anyone, and I mean anyone, even when my brother was playing for Notre Dame and watching them play each other, I still wore maroon to the game. And we did see a young BRM wearing purple and gold in the stadium. Definitely made some. You spent some dollars. It looks like at the bookstore.
You know where I went? You know where I went? I went to Alumni Hall, in Baton Rouge. I want to say a couple of things. Number one,
use code Sons LSU for 10% off.
Mention Sons of Saturday at the one in Blacksburg. You'll get 10% off. Real quick. Number one, I do like Ole Miss. I also like leaving the game without stuff thrown at me. The last time that I went to Baton Rouge, they were playing Auburn, and multiple Auburn people got hit in the head with mason jars. I was with the girlfriend, didn't want any beef, no beef. So that's number one. Number two, I grew up in an SEC first household. When Alabama was playing in the national championship, my father, Ole Miss grad, would put the toilet paper, the Tide, and the toilet paper up on the mantle. If LSU was playing anyone other than Ole Miss, we were rooting for LSU. My dad is from Slidell, Louisiana. So look, a little bit egregious. I did tell the Ole Miss people near me, I said, look, grew up watching Dexter McCluster, Jevin Sneed, rest in peace. So if they win, I'm not going to be furious. However, I drank every ounce of Baton Rouge LSU Kool-Aid that they were selling. It was unbelievable. I've been to some awesome games. I don't think I've ever been to an atmosphere quite like that before, but going around the tailgates, everybody that I got to talk to long enough to say that I went to Virginia Tech, they said, hey, Virginia Tech came here back in the 2000s. We went to Virginia Tech. Tremendous place. You guys have an awesome fan base. Really like you guys. So great time. Great time. If you want to hear more about it, check out College Football Mondays or the podcast, short podcast we'll do on our 2 trip to Death Valleys. But I had an awesome bye week. Fantastic. But that is my retort there.
I'm very happy you had an incredible time. It
Unreal.
was an epic game. It looked next level.
It was.
It looked next level, and I'm glad you had an awesome time. I probably would just wear like a plain white tee, maybe, something, maybe just like a yellow shirt, something that's, not, hey, I just spent $128 on this.
I tell you what, the quarter zip is sick and the hat is sick, but no buyer's remorse. No buyer's
Billy
remorse.
Ray has hit the fan transfer portal again, and he's admitting it in the first 5 minutes of the pod.
Great time. Color purple rocks. So yeah, no regrets, honestly. Great time. Stormed the field. I mean, it was great. I had an awesome time. Great time. By the way, ticket giveaway. We're doing them every single week with Roots Natural Kitchen. If you are interested in getting tickets to this Thursday night game or any of our home games, make sure you check out Roots Natural Kitchen on Instagram. Pat, I know you have one more announcement before we get into Hokie Haikus. This one's exciting. A lot of momentum on this side of things right now. Take it away.
I'm the Section 5 spokesperson for the Section 5 Club, and we do giveaways with the Section 5 Club. Supports the mission of Sons of Saturday in creating unique opportunities for the fan base, whether it's content or events or anything in between. Giveaways. This guy, this is a keg. This is like a little mini keg. I believe it fits. I need to have the stats. I'll put the stats in the bio here. But it is a mini keg from iMark, Sons of Saturday custom. It doesn't have the tap in yet. It will for the Boston College game and the Georgia Tech game. I'm going to fill it with maybe some PBR, maybe some Sons of Saturday Shandy from Bull and Bones. Join the Section 5 Club today. We just gave out some more Clemson tickets earlier this morning. April Grizzard did win them. Congratulations, April. I think we've given out 4 tickets to the Clemson game so far. I think we have about a half dozen or more left. But at just $5.55 a month, that's like the price of a coffee. Buy Billy Ray a coffee. Actually, don't buy Billy Ray a coffee. Buy me a coffee. $5.55. We have more Clemson tickets coming. We have a lot more rowback coming. We have one of these coming by the end of the year for a lucky member of the Section 5 Club as well. So thank you, guys. Thank you, iMark. And check it out. We will put it in the description of the podcast as well. Hokie Haiku.
Hokie Haikus.
Peter McGeeicus.
Always holding it down, Pete McGee. Bird supremacy. Tech climbs to ascendancy. Thursday legacy. This guy's just completely in his bag. Well done, Pete.
BT Hokie. Hokies win again. The way we need to begin. Big Hokie Thursday. I love that. Big Hokie Thursday. I want that on a shirt.
Yes.
Big Hokie Thursday. Instead of big noon kickoff.
Big Hokie
big noon
Thursday.
Saturday. Is that BT Hokie or was that a typo?
I think it was a typo.
Okay. BT Hokie. Thank you for your submission. Hokie history. Virginia Tech plays Boston College on Thursday night. 7:30 p.m. kick. ESPN. We got Matt Barry hosting game day. No, hosting Sports Center on the Quillen Plaza, which we had to look
How cool
up.
is that?
I love Matt Barry, first of all. That guy rules. Is Dan Mullen on the call with him on Thursday night?
I don't know who's on the call. I hope so.
That's who was last year on the Syracuse game. I look like a Syracuse guy with this jersey right now. Dan Mullen, Matt Barry. Hopefully it's Dan Mullen. They are hosting College Game Day on Thursday in the afternoon on the Quillen Plaza, which is right in front of Dietrich. So like the Pritchard Lawn area where the new, I want to say they took the Hokie bird from inside of Castle and moved it outdoors. So they must have,
strong. Yeah.
They had to paint it up with some weatherproof paint to put Hokie Bird out in the elements like that, especially in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it is Matt Berry and Dan Mullen, by the way. We have Harry Lyles Jr. on the sideline.
Bill Roth pointed this out last year. He said, hey, over the past 30 – or okay, I took a stat from last year and I'm pulling it forward. So I'm adding 1 to everything. Over the past 31 years, Virginia Tech has played Boston College more than any other opponent. Thursday's game will be the 33rd meeting between Virginia Tech and Boston College since 1993, which is crazy. Think about that. 1993, 2024, that's 31 years. 33 times in 31 years. So you're getting like 1.005 times a year we play Boston College. A lot of that is skewed heavily towards the 2007 and 2008 ACC championship games. But we were also annual rivals in the Big East and the ACC. Boston College, we were the cross-divisional rival with them when the ACC went to divisions, which was good at the beginning and then wasn't good.
So for all of you out there that want to do trivia, I am going to give you a second to answer this. When was Virginia Tech's last Thursday night loss at home? Going to give everybody a second. You can pause it if you still want to think about it. The answer, according to ChatGPT and my brain, I don't think that we've had it one since then, was October 25th, 2018 versus Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech lost 49-28. We were having punts go off our face. It was a tough afternoon in Lane Stadium, but it's gone pretty well. Hoping to continue that juju. The series on Thursday night is tied 3-3. I know you have this in here. Virginia Tech leads the series 22-10. Here's some other interesting notes. I got to say, I had a ton of fun doing the pregame notes for this one because there's just a lot of weird stuff in here. Most of these games have been blowouts. Like, we play them all the time. A lot of these games have been blowouts. So I went all the way back to 2008 because I was looking at the Winsipedia and I was like, there aren't a lot of close games here. Here are really the only close games since 2008. 2019, 35-28, Boston College wins at Boston College. One of the worst games ever. Like, awful. 3 interceptions, a lot of hype coming out. Pat, it was like our first time hanging out. I ate 2 steaks at Ye Old Oyster House. It was unbelievable. Or I got a steak to go. It was unreal. 2014, you have to go all the way back for a one-score game. 33-31, Boston College wins at Virginia Tech. 2013, 34-27, Boston College at Boston College. 2012, 30-23, Virginia Tech at Boston College. And 2008, 28-23, BC at BC. Now, that may seem like a lot of games, but all the way back to 2007, like, to only have 5 one-score games in 17 matchups hasn't really been a tightly contested game. Teams have usually blown the other team out, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, some of these games are just like hard. You just think back and you're like, man. Do you remember 2013? This is probably like right after you committed. I believe Andre Williams was the running back for Boston College, and he just ran all over us. The entire
Heisman finalist. He had some Heisman buzz. I don't know if he was a finalist, but he had some buzz that year. He was unbelievable. Andre Williams, just an incredible back. What's weird about this Boston College team, and we'll talk about it when we get to their offense, they don't have like that back that they've had forever. But it just seemed like literally from like 2008 till like 2017, they had an awesome offensive line and an awesome running back every single year. And they would have career days against Virginia Tech, it seemed like.
They were our first ever conference win under Coach Pry. 2022, tough week 1 out in Norfolk. Come back, regroup. 27-10, Hokies win over Boston College at night.
So some crazy things about this game too. I'm telling you, Pat, I was in my statistical.
This is fun.
So we won that game on September 10th, 2022. We did not win a Power 5 football game until 385 days later against Pittsburgh on September 30th, 2023. So Phil Jerkovic bookended that losing streak. We held him to a 13.9 QBR when we played him. We played him again, and he played for Pittsburgh. We held him to a 34.3 QBR. And we sacked him 10 times. He was sacked 10 times in his 2 trips to Virginia Tech. Thank you for coming out. Phil, looking back at that 2022 game, I was just looking at the box score and where some of these players are right now. Our leading rusher that night was Keyshawn King. He is now a Western Michigan Bronco. Our kick returner our kick returner was Chance Black. He is at Valdosta State. Their mascot is the Blaze. I was like, what is that? It is a flaming matchstick man. Our punt returner that game was DJ Harvey. He is at San Jose State. Dawan Lofton had 2 catches in that game. He plays for Oklahoma State. Armani Chapman had an almost pick 6 on like the second play of the game. He finished his career at UNC. And then Caleb Smith scored a touchdown. He went to Notre Dame and then shortly after retired. Boston College in that game, I mean, some just all-time bad statistics. They had 4 yards rushing in that game total. I mean, coming out of that game, Pat, we were walking out of the stadium. We were like, dude, weird game in Norfolk. We might not lose again. We might have the best defense ever. Held them to 4 yards. I remember walking out of that stadium. We did our first Lane Stadium win pick. We were like, dude, we're going to take 50 of these this year. We did not take any more. Except for Wofford, like 3 people showed up that we
weren't there for that one.
I wasn't even there.
Maybe that's the last game I missed at home. Wofford. 11 a.m. kick. Tough sell.
Boston College that night was 2 of 15 on third down, had 155 total yards, and had 0.2 yards per carry. Again, 26 carries for 4 yards. Wow. Felt pretty good coming out of that game. Had a nice like little drizzle mist that night. It was a nice night in Lane Stadium. It really was.
Had a Roots tailgate that day. We had Hunter Couture and Darius Maddox and Justin Mutz signing autographs in lot 2.
That feels like a lifetime ago. It really does.
It really does.
Was that the night that we did the we did the kickoff event with Coach Foster and Mutz and Hunter at the bowling alley? Yeah, that was
the night before.
Wow.
And Bill Roth too.
And Bill Roth. That's right. What a night. What a night.
That was a fun interview with Hunter and Justin.
Yeah, it was.
2023. We destroyed them last year. Like this.
Pat, don't forget, going into that game, the storyline was, dude, I don't think this team knows how to win on the road. Like this was like, we're going on the road. We've been playing pretty well. And this is a huge test because Boston College, high-flying offense that year. They still had Jeff Hafley. And the big concern was like, how are we going to win on the road? We don't win on the road. We don't prepare. We weren't really winning anywhere until we went on that little stretch. But, I mean, this was the game where they did like the early wake up. They changed like the routine a little bit. For us to be coming off of this bye, winning a game at Stanford, people were pretty convinced that Virginia Tech was incapable of winning on the road. So
you were a big Hafley guy.
I was. I thought Jeff Hafley was a good fit. Here's the thing. Like, I really think Jeff Hafley probably did about as good as you can at Boston College, especially in the age of NIL. Like, if you're winning between 6 and 8 games at Boston College, I think you're doing a pretty damn good job. Like, that's just reality. And I don't think Boston College is one of these crazy fan bases like South Carolina, like Virginia Tech, like all of the fan bases that care to be really good. And our ceiling is obviously way higher than Boston College's, but people weren't pounding on the pavement for Jeff Hafley to lose his job. My opinion has been the entire time, and you can go listen to the Adam Brenneman interview. I think he just got tired of NIL and bounced the NFL, but a lot of people think that he was forced out and he just wasn't doing a good enough job. We can agree to disagree. Leave your comments in the YouTube on why you think Jeff Hafley left Boston College, but talk about the game. And
I know we have some BC fans on here. Like, I know that there's Boston College fans lurking on the YouTube.
They're on here. I love Boston, by the way. If you're new, it's my favorite city in the Northeast. By far.
And Duke.
Duke is not in the Northeast.
He loves Duke and LSU. I'm just kidding. But am I? After all that you've been through on the internet, you just decided you woke up and chose violence and purchased LSU gear after everything you have been through. That's
I got if you walk in the store and you see, I mean, they have an unbelievable deal with Nike, dude. Their stuff just looks so good. It really does. It just looks great. Looks great.
I'm sure. All right. So 2023, 48-22. Didn't get the 50 burger. Wasn't there like a Grant Wells, like he was on his way scoring a touchdown, and then he fumbled like on like the 2-yard line, and that would have gotten us the 50 burger.
Yeah. It was tough.
We put up 600 yards in this game on the nose. Ran for 361 yards. We ran the ball 50 times. Had the ball for 36 minutes. 3 toot tutties from Bay.
Did we watch this game together at Goldie's? I was at Goldie's for the game.
It was a Goldie's game. Boston College only had 262 total yards. Drones was 12 of 17, 2 touchdowns, no picks. 20 carries, 135 yards. He just unleashed on the ground this afternoon up in Chestnut Hill. Quan Felton, 4 catches of 101. Castellanos was completely one-dimensional. Actually, he was 0-dimensional. 10 of 20 for 110 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown.
People forget Bashal Tutin was almost a Boston College Golden Eagle. He was. Virginia Tech swooped in, stole him. I don't think either team knew how good he was going to be. Did want to include that in our storylines that he was considering going to Boston College.
And I have to say, I know we talked about some games that were close over the past decade and a half. Some of those games before that, before 2008, those were the real classics. Or, I guess there's a few games that were good football games, right? Us beating them in the ACC championship in 2008 behind Tyrod Taylor. 2007 behind Sean Glennon, who was throwing darts to Eddie Royal and was named ACC championship MVP. You talk about 2005 where we just crushed them. I believe that was one of the games where we had the orange sleeve in 2005, the Marcus Vick orange sleeve. Hard to not bring up the Matt Ryan 2007 game.
I'm interested to know, and maybe Boston College fans can answer this in the replies too. I know I'm asking a lot of you guys. Where does that rank in all-time Boston College moments? Because there's obviously the Doug Flutie moment, but that was such a great moment that then just a few weeks later you lost in the ACC championship, but it's still such a tremendous regular season win. I wonder where that ranks in like Boston College lore, winning that game for Boston College fans.
Yeah, and it's funny because they lost a regular season game before the ACC championship. I believe it was to Maryland or Florida State. Okay, so they lost the next 2 weeks.
That's tough.
They hosted Florida State at home as the number 2 team in the country. Because, guys, this is 2007. And 2007, if you were ranked number 1 or number 2, you were going to lose. Like, we had two lost teams in the Natty that year. But they lost to Florida State 27-17. And then the next week they went down to College Park and lost to Maryland. And all of a sudden, Boston College, I don't think it's been back to the top 10. It's been quite a long time. And then we crushed them in Jacksonville on the heels of a Xavier Adibi pick 6 to seal it, sending the Hokies to the Orange Bowl. And then 99. I think we got to bring up 99. Do you want to go pick it up? Do you want to go grab it? Your figurine?
So I have it right here. This is going to be another giveaway that we do for the Section 5 Club. But check these out. This is a collectible. I'm not sure how well you can see it. The box is fantastic. But these are available for purchase. It is the official goalpost from the 1999 game against Boston College, where Virginia Tech completed their perfect regular season. Really cool collectible here. They only made, I think, 250 of them. Come with a certificate of authenticity. This is number 35 that we will be giving away. But yeah, talk to me a little bit about that game back in 1999, capping off a perfect season for Virginia Tech.
Michael Vick was awesome. I think he had maybe two, at least one. Andre Davis deep connects that game. My dad was there. I think he sat in the East stands. This was also the game where you probably saw the most epic sunset of all time behind the West stands before renovation, because it wasn't renovated until 2005. So sending Virginia Tech to the national championship. Coach Beamer gets up at midfield and says, I want to see all you guys in New Orleans. And everyone went to New Orleans. So cool moment. I was not there. Did not get brought along on that trip. 5-year-old Pat. Yeah, there's the pick. All right. Orange effect.
Yeah, sorry, I was having trouble getting that back in the box. PSA. I actually think this will be a fun dialogue. If you're a guy, there's no excuse. You have to wear orange. It's the orange effect. There's no excuse not to wear orange. I will be honest. I feel like if you have women in your life, the orange effect is one of the most difficult times for women because women don't usually have orange on deck. So there's a little bit of grace that I extend. But if you're a guy, dude, you gotta wear orange. And if you're a woman, we encourage you to wear orange as well.
This is all I have. Like, this is it. I have this and a polo. It's supposed to be like 30, feels like 35 degrees. I am intrigued to see how the stadium dresses on Thursday, because it's going to be cold and no one's got the outer layers that are orange, and the hoodies, they're going to be sold out because you know, you want orange effect to be in September, right? Can't always line up perfectly, but we will find out how it looks here on Thursday night.
The weather is going to be a challenge. I think if you haven't checked the forecast, you certainly should. It's going to be chilly, which is surprising for a mid-October game. But as Coach Price says, blue jeans and sweatshirts, show up, make an impact. Let's win this game. But yes, it will be rather chilly. Just as a heads up for everybody.
What are we wearing on the field? Some speculation. That's making a lot of noise, by the way.
Yeah, they've been talking about it. Apparently, so a couple of interviews, Kyron said that he has no idea what we're wearing, but they gave him a look. And then Keonta Jenkins said that we might wear all white. And then he said we're wearing maroon and white. And then he said we're wearing maroon on maroon. So I don't think anybody knows what we're wearing. I think orange would be cool. Again, I am in the camp. I truly don't care what we wear. Just win the game. That's all I care about. So we'll see. We'll see. Excited to see what we roll out. I don't know if there's an orange offering. We haven't seen one yet, if that is in the bag. But could be interesting. So we shall see.
We're going to talk about the football game, I promise. But if you're a Boston College fan, I'm sure you enjoyed some of that Hokie history. You may not have, but we are going to talk about your head ball coach. Bill O'Brien, a Boston guy, Bostonian, deep ties. Grew up a Boston College fan, loved watching Doug Flutie and those teams in the 80s. Grew up in Andover, went to St. John's Prep, home of the great Mike Yastrzemski. He played defensive end and linebacker at Brown University. And his ambition in school was to dunk a basketball by age 30. Wonder if he got there. We'll have
Where did you find that?
It's somewhere on the internet.
Wow.
I have 40 days until I turn 30, and I have never dunked a basketball. So
Not too late.
Not too late. Bill was at Penn State as their head coach in 2012 and 2013 after they got in a whole bunch of trouble, and he did a pretty good job on mop-up duty, righting the ship, and being that guy with the megaphone in times of trouble. So shout out to Bill O'Brien. He was the head coach of the Texans from 2014 to 2020, went 52-48, and won the division title 4 times. I believe that's the NFC South, right? Is it the NFC South?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't think it is. That's like the Panthers and
I don't know.
Falcons.
I don't do the NFL thing.
Sorry, guys. I did watch the NFL yesterday. but I couldn't tell you what division the Texans are in. Maybe they're in the AFC South. He was the offensive coordinator at Alabama and is known for mentoring Bryce Young and OCing the 2021 college football playoff winning championship team, Alabama Crimson Tide.
If people forget, he was talked about for a second being the Virginia Tech coach. There were a couple articles back in November. Met with a ton of opinions. Who knows how it would have gone? But he is at Boston College. We are with Brent Pry here at Virginia Tech. I do also want to say I got thrown off a little bit because apparently VT Scoop, I think, mistakenly put out an article saying that Metallica would be playing at Lane Stadium live before the Thursday night game. It was then taken down. I don't think there's any truth to this. There was a little bit of rumblings about it. I know they're playing in the spring. Would not anticipate it. Here we are talking about Metallica playing at a Virginia Tech football game. They are going to play at Virginia Tech.
Again.
But not at a football game, I believe. Sorry, I just got like a million texts about it. Let's talk about some presser notes, some hilarious Bill O'Brien stuff. If students are listening, we haven't had some fuel like this since Pittsburgh came to town. I just think that this is something that's worth noting. The question to Bill O'Brien, Lane Stadium, I know it's like the 5th loudest in college football, especially in that end zone. What were you doing with silent cadences or just to prepare for that noise you're going to hear? So Bill O'Brien hilariously responded, how do they measure that? Where the question asker responded, with decibels, Kansas City Chiefs has the loudest ever. So Bill O'Brien said, no question about it. Yeah, I can vouch for that. I can vouch for all of them. Penn State was pretty loud too. It's all pretty loud. So mental note, might be chirping a little bit on the loudness of Lane Stadium. Don't think he is, but we can twist some words and maybe pretend that he was and be as loud as possible.
So you're saying we could go Diego Pavia on him?
We could look at these. We could look at these words.
A poor man's Penn State Beaver Stadium.
Oh, we did give KC help for that. And then another thing that I thought was interesting, Elijah Brooks did say that Tootin has a knee sprain. Look, honest or not about the diagnosis, you usually never hear diagnoses. So he did say that Bashal Tootin was dealing with a knee sprain. Don't know if that's true. Don't know what the situation is, but those are my presser notes.
In those comments, was it a knee sprain that he was dealing with or a knee sprain that he is still dealing with? Was there any context into that?
So he said that he has been dealing with a knee sprain. So, we can wordsmith it. Not really sure. We know his knee has got some issues. Not sure if they persist or whatnot, but he's had that brace on. So, but it hasn't really been affecting him. He's looked great. Let's do a vibe check on both teams real quick. Both teams are coming off of a bye. Boston College, what's going on here? They start 2-0 with a win over Florida State at Tallahassee. They lose to top 10 Missouri on the road. Okay, tight game, could have won the game. We were also all mystified and thinking that Missouri was going to maybe be a playoff team. Newsflash, they're not. They beat Michigan State at home, stormed the field. Say what you will about it. And then they beat Western Kentucky by 1 point because Castellanos has not MRSA. He had mono, the kissing disease. And then they lost to Virginia. Castellanos had 3 turnovers. They rushed for 65 yards. So I don't know what to make of Boston College. I don't. A lot of hype in the beginning, but he's singing Bill O'Brien's praises, and then they lose to Virginia, and then they also almost lose to Western Kentucky. Flipping the page to Virginia Tech. The bye week is when the season turned around last year. We think we found some things this week. Don't look at the Stanford score or cover your ears because I am about to say it from last week. Stanford did lose to Notre Dame on the road 49-7. So Stanford, not necessarily world beaters, but we played the most complete game of the year 2 weeks ago. Can we keep that momentum going? You have to be perfect the rest of this season to compete for an ACC title shot. To make a bowl game, you need to win 3 of the last 6. These 4 games are going to be huge. You play this Boston College game at home on Thursday night. You're more talented. You got to win this game. Then we go back to back to back tough assignments coming up next. Georgia Tech at home on homecoming at noon. Georgia Tech, good football team. At Syracuse, House of Horrors. Playing at Syracuse is a scary assignment. And then we play Clemson. So big stretch here of 4 games for Virginia Tech, whether you want to go to an ACC title game, have a shot at the playoff, go to a bowl game. These are, regardless of which one of those scenarios you're aiming for, you got to win this game. Sorry, switch locations. Got a little loud in the kitchen. But just to wrap this up, Tech season hinges on every single weekend. It's delicate right now, whether you want to go to a bowl, whether whatever, like everyone is kind of in show me mode. And this is one of those games we have to go out and win. So go out and win it.
Big opportunity, especially after the bye. You win on Thursday, people will be really excited to come the following weekend for homecoming. And then you win that one and go take care of business up at the Orange Dome and then come back and give Clemson a hell of a fight. We'll be favored in 5 out of 6 games here on out. We should be if we take care of business.
Yes.
Syracuse is a sneaky 5-1. Sneaky 5-1. But they do have a loss to Stanford, who is probably the worst team in the
That could be the one game that we're not favored. Just to not to throw the stick in the mud there, but it doesn't matter. Go out and win the games. Let's preview Boston College. 4-2 with the 53rd hardest schedule in the country. Let's talk about their offense. They're scoring 27.2 points per game, which is good for 79th. Their offensive line, right to left. I don't know how this is the case every single year. Everybody's old. Graduate, redshirt senior, redshirt junior, and then a redshirt sophomore on the left-hand side. Tommy Castellanos. Fun player. Hasn't really broken out yet per se, but his stats are still pretty good. 70% completion percentage, 983 yards, 12 touchdowns versus 4 interceptions. Again, he missed the Western Kentucky game, but they ended up squeaking out a 1-point win. Rushing, we said this earlier, it's a little weird. They don't have the true workhorse like we're used to. So right now they have 3 running backs with over 40 carries, Ward, Richard, and Robichaux. Those 3 backs also have 200 yards plus on the season.
Wow.
Yeah.
So between those 3 guys and then Castellanos has 53 carries. They pretty much have 4 guys with 50 carries.
Yes, that is correct.
Load distribution.
They are going to run the ball, and they're going to run it a lot. The receiver to watch out for is Lewis Bond. He's 5'11", 199 junior from Chicago. He has 30 catches for 358 yards, which is good for 11.9, almost 12 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns. 5'11", 199. Interesting. But that is their offense. Bill O'Brien.
I know they got this guy, Kamari Morales, too. I think he's a red zone target. Big tight end, 6'1", 245. 10 catches on the year, but 3 catches in the end zone. That's kind of, it's not a super exciting offense outside of TC.
Switching over to their defense, they're holding opponents to 17.2 points per game, which is a top 20, sitting right on 20. Their defensive line, very, very, very weathered again. Senior, graduate, redshirt, junior, senior. Where they are green is in their secondary. Sophomore, redshirt, freshman, sophomore, and 1 senior. He's a transfer. The guy to watch out for, I'm going to say this wrong, is Donovan Iziriaruku. He is now the leading sack getter in the conference with 9 sacks. He's a beast. He's a senior defensive end from Williamstown, New Jersey. The rest of the team has 3 sacks total.
He leads the ACC in tackles for loss with 9.5. He's also the leading tackler on the football team as a defensive end.
Pretty good. Pretty good player. Got a key in on this guy. Excited to watch. I know that Barron had his way. Actually did a better job than I thought we would against Barron at Miami. So, look, coming off the bye's when the season turned around. Hoping that the offense can continue to click as it did against Stanford and Miami. Their defense is giving up 217 yards in the air per game and 104.7 on the ground. Good rushing defense against a good running back. Going to be a fun matchup to watch. So Teuton's coming off a rest. Hope he got horizontal plenty and is ready to roll on Thursday night. Do you have anything else before I get into the funky special teams that's going on at Boston College? I mean, it's way weird.
Just a correction, Donovan Iziraku. I want to know how Matt Berry and Dan Mullen are going to say it. Iziraku. But he actually has 11.5 tackles for loss, not 9.5. 9.5 sacks, 11.5 tackles for loss. Cam Horsley is number 2 in TFLs with 4.5. And he is also on their defensive line. Special teams. You texted this to the group today, and I thought it was a typo or incorrect. Quirky.
Yeah, I looked this up on like 5 sites because I didn't believe it. Boston College has attempted 1 field goal this year. 1. They've played 6 football games and they've attempted 1 field goal. And they made it. It was 39 yards. Thought that was pretty weird. Even weirder, 4 players have logged punts for Boston College. Even Zivenko, 14. Sam Candati has 8. Zivenko has 14. Sam Stone has 2, and Liam Connor has a punt. So this team has 4 punters. They have attempted 1 field goal. Just really weird. Really odd.
We're a few errors removed from Steve Adazio, but Boston College football, they got 4 guys with over 40 carries. They got 4 guys punting the football. Just a lot of guys being dudes, just doing dude things on the football field in between the hash marks. You love to see it.
I loved Steve Adazio. I really did. I was a Steve Adazio fan. I just thought he was, if nothing else, he had some great quotes and just screamed Boston College.
Yeah, he's got to be a Northeast guy, Jersey guy.
I don't know. I think so, but he and Scott Loeffler were on the same staff at UF when they won the national championship.
He was there 7 years and won 7 games 5 times. Like just exactly 7 games. They were 7-5 or 7-6 5 times. Groundhog Day.
Keys to the game? You got some keys for me?
This isn't like a groundbreaking revelation here, but win the turnover margin and win the time of possession margin. I think that's huge. Considering how we just completely controlled this game beginning to end last year. I do think Boston College scored first. I don't know if you remember that Billy Ray at Goldies. They went up 7-0 and we were like, oh no. But win the turnover margin and run the football, play Virginia Tech football. Yeah, you're at home again. Last time we were at home, which was eons ago, playing Rutgers on the 21st night of September, we did not win the football game. So a little bit of a redemption tour. Haven't played the best football at home this year. Really good opportunity to do that. Keep doing what we're doing on I'm not going to say that, but we didn't have any issues on special teams at Stanford. It was the first game we didn't have any special teams snafus. No more of that. Play the football game, play good defense, run the ball, win the football game.
For me, it's just Bill O'Brien's going to try to play keep away. It's been the MO, and Virginia Tech has to keep their offense on the field. Can't see the defense on the field all game. When Florida State played against Boston College, did a masterclass, had 40 minutes of time of possession. Make the most of your possessions, score touchdowns. You're more talented than this team. You should beat this team. It's Thursday night. Don't come out sluggish. Come out and play the way and with the intensity that you have played in your last 2 contests. And you should win this game. That's it. So,
I'm interested to see how our offensive line performs. This is a good defense. This is probably one of the better defenses we will face all year. They're only giving up 105 yards on the ground every single game. Now, I don't know if they've played any, guys like Bashal Teuton and Kyron Drones and the 2-headed monster that we have in the, running the football, considering those guys combined for over 200 last year. But, would love to see what we can do running the football. And if we can't get the football, if we can't run the football early, what kind of creativity we put in our offense so we can sustain long drives like we did at Stanford. I think that's another thing too, Billy, right? Is we saw out there just some really long sustained drives, and the bye week is chopping into that a little bit. And we're going to learn a lot about this football team if they were able to make the most out of the day off, time off, and kind of stay in that flow, stay in that rhythm.
Benny's lines. Head on down to Count's Family Pharmacy. Grab yourself a pin. Anyone with a game day pin gets $1 off of their slice at Benny's on Draper. You guys know the deal. Make it happen. Go get yourself one. They look great. They're free. The slices are $1 off. Doesn't get much better than that.
The orange effect pins rock.
They do. Al Jones dialed it up, and they look great. Hokies opened as 7-point favorites. This is now down to 6.5. The over-under opened at 48.5. It's now up to 49. Vegas thinks it's going to be a little closer. Vegas thinks it might be some more points scored. So that's where we are right now. Grant Watson's lines. I texted him for these. He didn't tweet them in early. I don't mean to call him out. I'm just saying, Grant, we really count on you for this. We have a whole segment built around it. So.
It is Monday.
It is early.
A little different. Grant might be off bank holiday today. He might have taken a vacation. So
it's true.
You got to salute him for getting these in on time, regardless.
First quarter spread, Hokies -2.5.
I mean, yeah. Give me the Va-Tech hoax.
I'll take that as well. Jalen Lane over under 39.5 receiving yards.
Over.
I'm going to say over 2. I did lose going over on Jalen Lane receiving yards last week. But think he bounces back. I'm interested to see what the Ollie Jennings situation is this week. Had the week off, played a little bit against Stanford. Is he going to play a lot of it? I don't know. We'll see. APR sacks over half. He's been off, man. He's good for. I think he's good for a sack.
I think
we're so back, Pat. It's
Thursday night. He's gonna have a sack. He's gonna have a sack. He lit up the stat sheet last time we had a Thursday night game.
This was an interesting one. Castellanos rushing touchdowns half. He's due for one. He had 13 last year and only has 1 this year, dating all the way back to week 1 against Florida State. So I do think we see 1 this week. I'm going to go over on that.
Wow. Yeah, I'll take the over on that as well. That surprises me that he only has 1 rushing touchdown.
Only one rushing touchdown. Score predictions. I think this is going to be a close game. I think that it's going to be a low-scoring game, relatively speaking. I really don't care what the score is. Virginia Tech just needs to win this game. They should win this game. Bill O'Brien, good X's and O's guys. Gonna have his guys ready to roll. I'll take Tech winning this game by 3 points, 24-21.
Hokies take care of business after a West Coast trip and a bye. I got 31-20.
So you're betting the over and Hokie cover?
Yeah. I mean, that's every Hokie fan's dream, right? The over and covering. I would love to see it.
Dream? Maybe.
One of many. We'll be doing score predictions with some Jack and Coke tomorrow at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Getting dinner with Bryce tomorrow at Custom Shop in Elizabeth.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Plaza Midwood, something like that.
Be fun.
Be on the lookout. Comment on the Instagram. We'll send you some Roback if you win.
If you're sticking around, comment in the comments, wear a sweatshirt. For anybody who didn't look at the forecast, that is the comment request. The end of this video.
Ken Zobe, I know you're going to comment this. Wear a sweatshirt.
Who's Ken Zobe? Is he always hitting the end of the buzzer comments? Love you, Ken.
Yeah, he's crushing.
Good job, Ken. No letters from the lunch pail. Everybody, we can do better than that.
People are still recovering from just not being in the flow of the football. So thankfully it's at home. We don't have to travel.
Yeah.
Well, we have a month of football. and only one Saturday game. And when I say that, I'm talking about we had Miami on a Friday. We had a bye week. We have this Thursday night game. The only football game we had on a Saturday was in California. Just an interesting stretch.
I got to run. I'm hopping on College Football Monday with Pete and Sam. Make sure you guys check it out. Like the video, subscribe if you're having fun. Join the Section 5 Club if you like giveaways and supporting the Suns, what we have going on here. And we will see you all in Blacksburg. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Enjoy the games. Go Hoks. Gobbling up 77 and 81 on Thursday morning. We'll see you guys there.